Hello and welcome to the next episode of my channel where I'll be taking up the poem A Photograph by Shirley Tolson. It is a poem in the class 11th syllabus. An old photograph of the poet's mother, which was pasted on cardboard, makes the poet recall the old memories of her mother's childhood. The photograph is a depiction of her mother's enjoyable moments at a sea beach with her two cousins, Dolly and Betty. They were walking in shallow water with bare feet near the beach. The mother was standing in the middle and holding hands of her two cousins, who were standing on either side. The poet's mother was 12 years old then. It shows that the photograph was very old, but the poet has kept it very carefully, as obviously it reminded her of sweet memories of her mother's childhood. The photograph also indicates how enjoyable her mother's childhood was. The photograph shows all the three girls, that is, the poet's mother, and as I said earlier, her two cousins, Betty and Dolly, and how they stood still and smiled at the camera while their uncle clicked their photograph. As the weather was windy at that time, their hair was flying over their smiling faces. The expression on the faces of the poet's mother and her cousins was that of happiness and enjoyment. We can see this through the smile they had on their face. The mother was looking very pretty at that time, and the photograph was taken, as I can say again and again, a very long time ago. But everything has changed since then. Her mother grew up. Now she was dead, and the poet was reviving her memories. The only thing that has remained unchanged is the sea, which was washing the feet of all the three girls in the photograph. The mention of the word transient indicates the ever-changing lives of human beings, as well as the shortness of their stay on this world. So transient feet means the temporary lives of human beings, whereas nature is immortal. The sea is immortal. It was contrasting to the eternity of nature. The girl's life changed drastically during this period, but the sea has not changed. The stanza beautifully explains the transient nature of human lives. In the next stanza, the poet says that even 20-30 years later, the poet's mother would look at the photograph and laugh nostalgically, remembering the happy memories of her past. She would look at the photo and comment how funnily they were dressed for the holiday. The sea holiday was her mother's past, and her mother's laughter has become a thing of the past for the poet, as her mother is dead now. The poet still remembers how her mother would laugh at the photograph, remembering the sea holiday, with a fondness as well as a sense of loss, because that time would never come back. In the same way, the poet feels nostalgic thinking about her mother and the laughter which has become a thing of the past. The words labored and ease are opposite to each other, but they describe the same entity, that is loss. In the last stanza, the poet recalls that it has nearly been 12 years since her mother died, and the poet is consumed with grief but is left with no words to express her loss and pain. The poet is totally absorbed in memories of her dead mother. The painful silence of this situation leaves the poet speechless. The poet can feel the grief but is unable to express it through words. The silence caused by death makes the atmosphere gloomy where no one is able to utter words. Now about the poetic devices. First is allusion. The cardboard over here refers to the photograph. It's an allusion. Allusion is a reference or an incidental mention of something which either directly or by implication point out to something else. Next is alliteration. Stood still to smile. Terribly transient. Silence silences. Next is synecdoche, that is transient feat. It is not just the human feat which is temporary, but the entire humanity, human life. This transient feat can also be termed as a transferred epithet. It is not feat which is transient, but human life. So, two different ways of saying the same thing. Next is oxymoron, when two opposite words are placed together, that is labored ease. Labored means working hard, ease means to rest. So this is an oxymoron. And personification, that is silence silences. The silence, her mother's silence, no laughter can be heard, has made her silent, has made her overwhelmed with pain, because of which she has become sad and silent. And labored ease of loss means because both mother and daughter can feel a pang of pain, are both nostalgic about something or the other, they have become quiet. They have learned to sustain their pain. So I hope you have understood the poem. Do ask me if there is a doubt. Thank you.